We are now engaged in something that I fear many people are missing. We are engaged in a battle, in a changeover, in a new form of warfare that a lot of people seem to label as political, and that's where they stop. A lot of people label it spiritual, and that's where they stop. However, we're missing the very clear and obvious transition that's taking place. We are in a war of meaning. Right now, we are not engaged in a battle of right versus left. We are not engaged in a battle of righteousness versus evil. We are engaged in a battle of meaning and nihilism. Here's what I mean. When you look at the news and you see that a man has been assassinated, when you look at the news and you see on the same day that this man is assassinated that there is a school shooting, when you look on the news and you see that people are being bombed, combatants and civilians, it should tell you that we are in a situation wherein there are people who don't believe that life is meaningful, that others' lives have intrinsic meaning, that their lives themselves have enough meaning. A long time ago, this conversation was about freedom. This battle over what our values would be as a country and as a world was about the freedoms that we share. And even that has become a symptom of the broader issue. The real problem is meaninglessness. How do you not fucking see this? The real problem at our doorstep that has walked in to our home, to our psyche, into our relationships, and into our entire society. This infiltration is one of meaninglessness. They don't shoot up a school because they believe that Democrats are fucking up. They unalive children because they don't believe that it means anything. And they're only existing for the comedy of it. It is a perversion of reality that says that they have been so downtrodden and given so much vitriol by the people that would otherwise fuck them, prop them up to be an upstanding citizen, make them a beacon of masculinity, coddle them and love them. These are people devoid of that thing that connects them to the rest of the universe, to the rest of humanity. These are people that are in desperate need of a reconnection with what it means to be human, with the spirit that you just feel. And instead, they have opted to become the Joker. You don't have to condone it to understand it. This nihilism problem comes from somewhere. This meaninglessness comes from somewhere. Where does it come from? I'll tell you. Capitalism. Our good old buddy capitalism. There was once a civilization that viewed sharing resources as just the obvious thing to do. If I have a bushel of carrots, or whatever unit that is, and I know that I'm not going to eat 200 carrots, I can share with the rest of my village, with the rest of my people, because they might want some carrots. At a certain point, efficiency became the point. Now I have 200 carrots and I have something to exchange for that might give me other things. Now let's institute a system of exploitation. I exploit the land. That allows me to exploit the people to work the land, which allows me to gain and climb up the ladder of status so that not only do I survive and thrive, but I also stunt on niggas. I can stunt on everybody because I got so many carrots. And before you know it, we create the corporation, and the corporation becomes the beacon of efficiency standard. The best corporations make the most efficiency. It's just how we live life. It's how we've lived life for so long that we feel like this is just the natural order of things. It may have been a progression of things, but that's also a line of thinking that we have to change. Just because things are the way they are and we can draw a line back to where they started does not mean this is how things have to be. It doesn't mean this is where our evolution has to take us and stop. Because though the dominance hierarchy of the jungle has caused us to, have a masculine, dominant world, it does not mean that the capitalism that ensues afterwards is something that we have to participate in to the point of destruction. So back to capitalism. Capitalism thrives on efficiency. If not, all of the gains, all of the purpose of capitalism sort of tends to crumble and dissipate. Because if you don't have that efficiency, if you don't have people working, if you don't have these systems operating, if somebody's not trampled upon in order to make the system of capitalism thrive, then it must be evil. Now, two things about that. One, people worship at the altar of capitalism, at the feet of it. They worship it. How do you worship capitalism? You participate in it, number one. And number two, you demonize and seek to destroy anything that gets in the way of efficiency, calling it amoral, calling for the rollback of things that are cultural, and seek to create some sense of equity among the humans that are involved in the system. The core of it is the people that are perpetuating this have a God, and that God is capitalism. It's not Yahweh. It's not Jesus. It's capitalism. And the way that they seek to find the ends, the promises of God, is by participating and by conquering and by disenfranchising people. Capitalism is worshipped. That's number one. Number two, capitalism is a monster. It's a demonic monster, yo. And I'm not saying that like the idea of going and making money and exchanging goods, whatever, that's what we do. It's what we do. I participate in this system as well. Where I stop short is that my moral compass is not wrapped up in capitalism and its standards. I could call it, like I said, that these people worship the God of capitalism, but it's not a God, it's a monster. It is a system that has a life of its own. And the only thing it wants to do is make the world more efficient. Make the world more efficient so that it can continue to grow and become a more perfect capitalist monster. That is why artificial intelligence and machine learning are so frightening, because it's cold. It doesn't care if many people don't have a livelihood. Many people who have spent their lives trying to participate in this thing of capitalism that we've built, this promise of America that we've built, this promise of America that we've loved and that we've believed in. It doesn't care if so many people who have participated in this system fail. Why do you think that these people are so cold? They're possessed by a demonic monster called capitalism. The philosophy of this says that there's nothing else outside of it. All of it seeks to perpetuate the same end. And that is the creation of power and the exploitation of those who don't have power. Is there another way to live? I think so. Again, going back to the top, we are in a battle of meaninglessness. And so far in our evolution as people, our human spirit has always come against this issue of where the resources come from, who has access to them, and how we mate. You understand? Like, your status within a system has always been the key component in how we conduct society. That is how we've weighed meaning. That is our measuring system for meaning. How big is your meaning? You feel me? Meaning 1.0 was organized religion. What does God have to say about reality? What does God have to say about your purpose? What does God have to say about how you conduct yourself in reality? Meaning 2.0 was the system that we created, government and the news. Like, where do you go to find your meaning? And in this year, the Lord's year 2025, we've started to see things crumble. We've started to see that many people are not upholding the standards of God anymore. We've seen how attendance has dropped below 50% in religious gatherings for the first time in American history. We started to see that many people have lost faith in our government, lost faith in the news, lost faith in the media and in books and all of the places that we would go otherwise to find meaning. No wonder things are falling apart. Don't you see it? Can't you feel it? So what do? Where do we go now? What creates meaning 3.0? We do. You and I do. As we come together, as we galvanize around the truth of what it feels like to be human, as we unplug from the system that tells us what to believe and tells us where meaning comes from. Because if you notice, meanings 1.0 and 2.0 know that they're dead, know that they're on their last leg, and they are attempting with everything in them to make people see reality in this antiquated way. That's the culture wars. It's a dead and dying system that is holding on for dear life to get you to be efficient in the way that they see it. Now, on the other side of that, there are a whole host of people who feel that tension and feel that squeeze and feel like everybody who participates in that has done them an injustice and they hate you for it. Those are the people who just want to watch the world burn. Wake the fuck up. The battle that we're involved in is spiritual in that it's about our souls. It's about what actually makes us human and how we participate in this thing with each other. It is that. And at the same time, we've got to put new language to it. You have to put new language to it because you are a soldier on the front lines of this war. When you're talking to people who say blatant untruths, and I don't mean blatant untruths about what happens throughout history. I mean blatant untruths about who they are. If you notice, and I'm not sure if you've ever taken stock of this, if you notice, if you talk to people long enough, they don't believe the bullshit that they say. They don't believe the shit that comes out of their mouth most of the time. It might be people that watch Fox News or watch MSNBC. There might be people that listen to podcasts all day and they just talk the shit that they hear. They don't believe that shit. They don't. Call them on that shit. Is that what you really believe? Okay, now you say XYZ. So does that mean that like actually get in the mud with these people? If you love them, if you see the world crumbling and you want to do something about it, that's like trench warfare right there. You're getting hit with so many pieces of information throughout, your algorithm and these conversations that you have with people in the news and just the peril that's at your doorstep. Engage, become inquisitive, ask questions, because that person that you're talking to might be slipping into meaninglessness and nihilism. That person that you're talking to might be using this white supremacist rhetoric, but they might actually believe something else. The scary thing to think about is maybe they don't believe anything at all. Nothing. That's when the world becomes a video game. That's when they see everything through a rifle scope. That's when they start to write manifestos and look for targets. That's when the war starts. Because right now it's comfortable. Y'all don't hear me. Right now it's comfortable. It's tense. You feel it, but you can go to sleep. You can have your friends. You can bitch and complain about the administration. But there is coming a time when those who are silently pulling the strings of history, the ones who don't believe in anything, that don't believe in the future, that don't believe in you or a human spirit, the ones who do not have Ubuntu, there's coming a time where they act and you're going to be confused. And you're going to be confused because you're still thinking about good and evil. You're still thinking about the right versus the left. You're still thinking about patriots. This is a new world. Welcome. The fight starts now.